Yeah, and I want for the folks that are saying, I want to know the sequence of where these guys met. Paul gets saved at 2 years after the resurrection. Goes into Arabia, and the fact is he spends 3 years there, all right? Then he decides to go to Jerusalem to check out, to do this historeo. He comes to Peter, he says, guys, I'm no example. You know, I was killing Christians when you guys were Christians, all right? So, you know, I have no really right to be here, but I got to ask you a couple of questions, okay? Number one, Peter, you were supposed to be the head of the disciples, and the fact is that, hey, you deserted him right at the time when he needed you, okay? And then when he saw you, when you saw him personally, what was that like? What happened? What did he say? Paul wanted to know that. Then he turned to James and he says, hey, you were the brother all of his life. You were watching the Messiah, okay? And you didn't believe. What did you experience when you saw him? And then they could turn it around and say to Paul, yeah, you were killing Christians. We remember that one.
And that's why Paul says, I don't even deserve to be included in this group.
Yeah, so he meets with Peter and James, and then a little while later, there's another gathering that we're told about. Talk about that one.
Yeah, the second one is 14 years later, and that is usually dated between 47 and 49 AD, which is interesting because if 1 Thessalonians was written in 50, these events are all before the very first New Testament book is written. And Paul, once again, it wasn't enough to do it at +5, which, by the way, we get from 2 years for the conversion. He says 3 years later he went up there, and of course we accept Paul's word, so 2 + 3 is 5. And for those who think his conversion is late at 3, 3 + 3 is 6. So that first meeting was 5 to 6 years. The second one's 14 years, all before 50. They're all on board. They're all preaching the same message. They added nothing to me, and they give Barnabas and I the right hand of fellowship. I often tell people when I'm in churches, I'll say, have you folks in this church ever laid hands on heretics? I'm just wondering what you do. I mean, who do you lay hands on? You lay hands on deacons, elders, pastors, missionaries, people that you agree with, that you want to take the word out. That is symbolic that what happened when that meeting broke up halfway through Galatians 2, this group is going out gung-ho, all preaching the same message, and the gospel of the deity, death, resurrection of Jesus was proclaimed by all of them. And the fact that Peter and James took it to the Jews and Paul and Barnabas to the Gentiles, the group changed, but the message stayed the same.